Hello, everyone. This is Barb Techel from joyfulpause.com. And here we are going into the month of July. We are halfway through the year. Sorry, there was a little bird that almost flew into the window there. So we are halfway into the new year. July always marks that halfway point for us, which is a great time of the year to, really pause and reflect, take a breath, take a big inhale, and just enjoy that exhale. But also, I think to look at the exhale as a way of, you know, letting go of what we don't want to bring with us from the first half of the year and how we want to move into the second half of the year. So, this is Cancer season, and as a Cancerian, I can definitely tell you I embody the traits of this sign. Cancer really invites us to take care of our emotional health and just really honor, the ebb and flow of feelings that we have day in and day out, sometimes from second to second. And Cancer is also ruled by the moon. So this is really, if you are Cancerian, being ruled by the moon, we can be very emotional and very intuitive. But even if you aren't in the month of Cancer for your zodiac sign, this is calling to us as we move into July to look at every one of us, to look at our emotional health and also to tap into that intuitive part of ourselves, because we all have that. We all have that sense. We can all do that. It's not just, privy to certain people. We all have that intuitive sense that we can tap into. So I did pull a card for the theme that will be for this month, which I pulled from the Wisdom of the Oracle. I pulled that off camera, and I will be sharing that as well as doing pick a card. So you will have an animal guide to go with that theme. So start thinking if you want to have card number 1, 2, or 3. And then before I get into the reading, I sat in meditation for about 20 minutes this morning, just to see if there was anything that would come through that I thought might be helpful to add to this reading that might be helpful for you as well. And I do think it is something that is beneficial. So as I was sitting in meditation, the first thing that I saw and heard was hold center. And to really, find your anchor point and to hold center. And this is going to make sense as I share with you what the theme of the month is. It very much plays into that. And as I was thinking about holding center, I just saw myself as, sitting with my legs crossed, sitting kind of in prayer, in meditation. And then all of a sudden I saw myself in this clear sphere. And as I sat in the center of that sphere, which really wasn't, it was like floating out in space, out in the universe, out in the ethers. And as I sat there inside that sphere, just holding my center, I could see the outside world and the different challenges and the different chaotic points that are going on in the world. And there's some very difficult things. But I just saw myself holding center inside this sphere and just gently bouncing off of those things that are difficult and challenging to see and observe of what is going on in the world. So I just felt that was important to share that because, for you to look at what is your anchor point, what is your center point, what keeps you centered, what keeps you anchored, and then perhaps putting like this protective bubble, this protective sphere of energy around you as the world, continues to, be in chaos on a lot of different issues. It's just a way of protecting your energy. It's not saying that you don't care about what's going on in the world, but really it's about holding your center, finding peace within as, these things continue to play out in our world right now. So as I sat a little bit longer in meditation, all of a sudden elephants showed up. And I asked Elephant, what is your message? What do you want me to know today? And as I sat a little bit longer, all of a sudden I saw Elephant open its one ear really wide and then its other ear really wide, just completely out to the side. And I heard Elephant say, "Listen." And I said, "Okay, listen." So I just listened and I was quiet, and it was quiet for a few minutes in my meditation. And then I heard Elephant say, "Listen to the depths of your marrow." Listen to the depths of your marrow. I mean, that is deep, deep inside our bones, right? And then I heard Elephant say, "Deep into your heart." Deep into the depths of your marrow and deep into your heart. Really listen. So as I took that message in, I then saw what I sensed as a heart, or my heart, that was flashing red with just this little touch of blue. And it was just a soft little flash that it was doing. And I heard Elephant say, "This is your signal of peace." As I'm sitting inside of this sphere, holding my center, really listening to my heart, really listening to your heart, our hearts, this is our signal of peace that we give out to the world when we can hold our own center and not get caught up in a lot of that chaos, which in reality, there isn't much we can physically or mentally do about that to a certain point. But we all can hold peace, and we can all hold a positive energy in our hearts. So as I sat inside, I saw myself again inside this sphere with this flashing signal from my heart, the signal of peace. As I just, it was so graceful and so soft and so gentle as I just bounced throughout the atmosphere of the universe, space, whatever you want to call it. And in a sense, what I saw was as I was bouncing, keeping my center inside of this sphere, I was sharing my light in that way, vibrationally, out into the world. And we can each do that. Maybe that sounds a little crazy to you, but it doesn't to me, because it's what I really believe in my heart, that it really begins at home for each of us. And working on where, we feel off center, and finding a way to ground ourselves and feel centered, even amidst everything that's going on in the world. So I'm just taking a look at my notes here. I think what I'm going to do now is share with you the card, which is going to be the theme for our month, for the month of July. And the theme from the Wisdom of the Oracle is where I pulled this card, is new life. Such a positive, uplifting, beautiful card. So we have this fairy-like woman who has these beautiful wings sitting atop this column. And it's as if she's just beginning to awake. She's beginning to look at either, she's been dreaming of this new life, and she's just beginning to awaken of what does this new life look like that I've been dreaming of? And she's just stretching into it, and really starting to begin to want to open more and more, open our wings even more and more to what this new life can be for each of us, for our world, right? So we're at this pivotal halfway point of the year. What we've learned these first 6 months, we now take with us, and this is going to help create this new life. Yeah. So I'm going to pick an animal card now. So if you have your number 1, 2, or 3, this is going to be your animal guide that goes with new life. And as I'm looking at the card, the woman is sitting on this pillar, and I'm thinking of the fact that there are different pillars in life, and maybe there's a particular pillar in life that you are concentrating on. Maybe it's a career change. Maybe you're physically moving. Maybe you're creating a new health regimen for yourself. Maybe you're creating a new emotional space for your life. Maybe you are looking at bringing more peace and meditation into your life. So there's all these different pillars we have. So just think about one that maybe perhaps you are really working with right now, or perhaps it's something you've been contemplating and you want to take a step toward that. So this will be your animal guide to help you and get you started during this month of July. I've always felt this was always my month because it is my birthday month. Always been my month where I don't put a lot of pressure on myself. And we're in the middle of summer, and it's just a great time to really slow down and just be and just think about this new life going forward. And maybe you don't even know what that is, but just allow yourself this time and space to let that bubble to the surface. And I just have to say, this is one of my newest pieces of animal oracle art that I did, and I hope you can see that. It is a snail looking into a mirror, and that piece is actually sold, but I just felt like sharing it in the background with the theme for this month of really slowing down. And I love snail because they can hardly see, so they don't know where they're going. They don't know where this new life is taking them, so they have to sense and feel with their body along the ground of where they're going. So that really fits into this emotional realm too, right? Or this emotional symbolism of Cancer and the month of July is really really to feel into those feelings we sometimes set aside, and just look at what are they trying to teach us or offer to us. All right, so 1, 2, or 3, and I am going to start with card number 2. So if you pick number 2, this is going to be your animal guide. Do stick around for the other 2 cards as well, because there's always something in those for you as well. So if you pick number 2, you have Owl and the message of judgment. So along with the theme of new life, I'm feeling called to grab my booklet. This is from my deck, Animal Reflections Healing Oracle. Just feeling called to look at how this plays into new life with this message from Owl and judgment. So perched high on a birch branch and balanced between the trees, Owl exemplifies inner vision and co-creation with Source. While also under the magical glow of the full moon, Owl supports you as you let go of what no longer feels in alignment, so you can follow the call of your heart, ultimately guiding you to feel more alive and fulfilled. How perfect that is with new life. And really, Owl's encouraging you to sit with those inner visions that you have and know that you aren't alone and co-creating this new life, that you are doing it in creation with spirit, universe, God, however you define that. I'm going to continue reading this to see if this is helpful. So at different points of spiritual awakening, you realize not only the judgment you carried about yourself, but how you may have unintentionally projected this onto others. Owl encourages you not to place blame on yourself, but rather recognize this is a pattern coming from your own wounds. As you become the observer of your emotions, I think that's really, really important and something I continue to hone in on for myself, which I've been doing for many, many years now, is our emotions are fleeting. If we can just sit with them and allow them to move through us, they are temporary. They do move through us. But so often we get stuck in this old patterning of staying stuck in those emotions and thinking we can't move forward. So as you're thinking about this new life and you're becoming the observer of your emotions, look to the symbols of the heart and the feather hanging on either side of where Owl is perched. The heart represents past wounds healed, while the feather represents a lighter feeling in mind, body, and spirit. settling in when you've completed another cycle of inner work. So as you are, taking a pause and you're thinking again about what you've learned in the past, you're going to take that with you into this new life this month as you begin to create that new life. And you are going to feel, and maybe you're already feeling this, as you do that inner work, you feel lighter in spirit, you feel lighter in your mind, you feel lighter in your body, in your heart. And yeah, and I think the judgment card is so key also as you go into this new life. When you think about the past, not to beat yourself up about that. Don't, that is such a past pattern wounding that we are being called to break, is this judgment piece about ourselves. And we want to blame ourselves or shame ourselves. And so I think it's really important that this card is also speaking to the fact of letting go of judgment of self, which is so easy to do. We fall face first in that, so easily. But if you can observe that you're doing that and pull yourself back out, that will be key. All right, so if you pick card number, so that was for card number 2. If you pick card number 3, this is your animal guide for the month. And we have, we have elephant and loyalty. So elephant came up in my meditation this morning. As we're thinking about new life, I mean, it just feels so clear to me, loyalty. This is about being loyal to yourself first and foremost. And elephants are very, very family orientated. And they definitely grieve when they lose a member of their family. But I think this is really speaking to, yes, how important it is to stay devoted and loyal to your own inner care and self care in order to be of service to those that you care for in your life and to others. And I'm just going to grab the guidebook again to see if there's any other information I feel is helpful to share with you if you pick card number 3. Oh, this is just really speaking to me in regards to new life and what I have in this with elephant. Along the road of life, you are met with family, friends, and mentors who serve as your guides and influence you in one way or another. Some of these people and their teachings stay with you always, while some pass through. And perhaps, maybe if you pick number 3 and you're creating this new life, you are having to let go of people in your life, and that sometimes can be difficult. But there are different seasons of our lives where different people come into our lives and they serve a purpose and then they move on, just like we are that for others. Sometimes we don't stay friends with somebody forever. It's just for a short time and we learn what we need to learn and then it's time to move on. Again, it's about staying loyal to what feels right in your heart. All right, so card number 1, you patiently waited. This is your animal guide for the month. So we have judgment and loyalty. I just feel like reading that as a theme also, and then I'll add the third card. But, about not judging ourselves, knowing that we're doing the very best that we can as we create this new life, and staying loyal to that which we want to co-create and bring into the world, whatever that is for you. And then card number 1 is, oh, wow. It's hyena and critic. So often we're trying to bring in a new phase into our life. We can fall back into that pattern of criticizing ourselves, that small self within us that wants to criticize and says, who do you think you are to have this new life? Who do you think you are to look at life in a different way? Because this is who you were, and it wants to, there's a part of us that wants to keep us stuck there. And that's usually that judgment self. So when we look at the theme for the month of new life, it's about letting go of judgment of ourselves. It's about staying loyal to what we really want to co-create in the world, how we really want to move forward, and just really, I don't want to say quiet the inner critic, because the best way to quiet the inner critic is to acknowledge and listen to that inner critic. Because more often than not, that is a small inner child of you that someone said something or did something in your life and it kind of stuck, and you operate from that place a lot of times in your life, and it's time to let that go. It's time to say, hey sweetheart, I hear you, I love you, I'm here for you, it's going to be okay, I've got this, and we're going to move forward into this new life we want to create. So I hope that was helpful for all of you for the month of July. If you need additional support, one of my favorite things to do is to do intuitive readings for others as well as for people and their animal friends. If you are a newsletter subscriber of mine, something new that I just implemented because I want to support more and more of you that I can, I do offer a 10% off my readings if you are a newsletter subscriber. So if that is of interest to you, please feel free to go to my website, joyfulpaws.com. And at the bottom of my homepage, you'll see where you can sign up, and then you'll get the information on how to take advantage of that 10%. So if you need support, please feel free to reach out. I would love to support you. It is my mission in life to be of service to others, and I would love to do that. All right, I hope you have a great month of July. And that is it. And make sure to celebrate this month too. Celebrate all this inner work that you're doing. And we've got the 4th of July coming up here in the United States. So take time to celebrate all that work that you do on yourself and how far you've come and where you're going. And just let's celebrate life as well too. All right. Take good care, everyone. See you again next month. Bye-bye.